Your Vocation and Purpose. A quote from Viktor E. Frankl. Everyone has his own specific vocation or mission in life. Everyone must carry out a concrete assignment that demands fulfillment. Therein he cannot be replaced, nor can his life be repeated. Thus, everyone's task is unique as his specific opportunity to implement it. Personal portraits. A few months before my 16th birthday, I found myself thrust into the world of college. I really had no clue what to do with my life or what to study. In the first year alone, I changed my area of specialization from engineering to computer science to economics. Sitting wide-eyed and awed in my calculus class, trying to make sense of difficult concepts like integration and differentiation, I felt that I must have made the wrong choice. Perhaps I would find my calling in the liberal arts, I thought. I dabbled in the fields of philosophy, sociology, and psychology. I have to admit that I discovered many interesting concepts in the field of psychology. I decided to enroll in various psychology courses to learn more. I still feel very passionate about the study of the human mind. However, as a college student, I had yet to find something that really inspired and motivated me. I recall returning home one day to find my older brother and his friend camped out at the dining room table. They were trying to come up with ideas for a marketing campaign for a new product. As I stood in the corner of the room and listened to the flurry of ideas about television commercials, radio jingles, brand strategies, storyboards, and communication design, I had a eureka moment. I remember asking my brother if he and his friend were discussing some side project that they were working on. He explained that it was an assignment for a mass communication course. It was at that moment that I realized I had found my true calling. The next morning, I marched into the mass communication department and changed my major for the last time. From Damien Knight, 1984. The man in the tree, driving down the wrong road and knowing it. The fork years behind. How many have thought to pull up on the shoulder and leave the car, empty, strike out across the fields? And how many are still amazed among dock and thistle, seeking the road they should have taken? The background. Really knowing yourself is the mother of all knowledge. Consider the following questions. What drives you? What are you passionate about? Why are you here? Where are you going with your life? Are you contributing to your personal growth? Are you contributing to other people's happiness? What is it that drives you to work? Is it money, fame, power, or purpose? If you don't regularly ask yourself those questions, you can never realize your true potential. However, the only thing worse than not knowing yourself is believing that you know it all. As the old saying goes, Jack of all trades, master of none. In his book, Good to Great, Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't, management guru James C. Collins uses a simple parable to explain what he calls the hedgehog concept. It's fairly simple, but it contains powerful truths that can be used to discover just who you are and what your purpose may be. A quote from Anonymous. Every outward journey begins with a journey within. Here's the story. One day, a hedgehog and a fox meet in the forest. The fox is a cunning, shrewd, and intelligent creature who believes in his ability to do anything he puts his mind to, anything at all. The hedgehog, by contrast, is a humble creature who's not very good at many things, except for one, rolling into a ball to protect himself. Suddenly, from a nearby thicket comes a ferocious beast, hungry and intent on finding dinner. The fox reacts by panicking, running through his considerable list of tricks to escape the beast, going from one to the other. However, in his panic and haste, he can't manage to get away from the beast, and unfortunately, is eaten. The beast doesn't want to have anything to do with the hedgehog, though, who curls himself into a ball for protection at the first sign of danger, his sharp spines poking outwards. The beast soon leaves, and the hedgehog is left alone, alive. What is the moral of this story? That it is better to do one thing extremely well than to be mediocre at many things and not do them nearly as well. Remember the hedgehog as we go through this discussion. A quote from Christopher Reeve. A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. Definitions. Purpose. A reason, motivation, or underlying cause of an action. A sense of who one is and his or her ambitions, desires, and skills. Vocation. A regular occupation, especially one for which a person is particularly suited or qualified. The process. From Seneca. When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no wind is the right wind. When you think about yourself, what comes to mind? What purpose do you think you have? If you say, "Well, I'm not sure I have one," you will be relieved to know that everyone has a purpose. You just haven't found yours yet, and that's okay. That comes with personal development and the growth process. Every person has a purpose, some reason why he's here. We'll talk more about purpose and why it matters later, but first, we'll talk about something that can be just as important: your vocation. You are what you do. Your work or your job is your self-portrait. You must paint it with excellence. If you're not happy in your job, ask yourself why you're still in it. Quite simply, you are what you do. Vocation is not necessarily just a job, by the way. It's what you dedicate your life to doing, which is similar to a purpose. For many self-aware people, their vocation happens to be their job. However, some work at a particular place of employment for money, but view themselves, for example, as artists, even though they don't make a living from their artwork. Either way, you are what you do. We define ourselves by the effort and labor we put forth. So our vocation tends to determine how we feel about ourselves. A quote from David Gemmell. A warrior feels his body well. He trains it, works on it. Where he lacks knowledge, he studies. But above all, he must believe. He must believe in his strength of will, of purpose, of heart and soul. Your vocation and your happiness. Our sense of happiness is a complex concept that depends on a variety of factors. As mentioned above, most people derive their happiness about or discontent with life largely from their jobs. In fact, a recent survey conducted in the United States found that the majority of workers, 55%, were dissatisfied with their jobs, and this dissatisfaction was causing significant unhappiness in their lives. Here's why this is so important. You spend so much time at your job or vocation that it has a significant impact on your self-esteem and self-image. If you want to be happy, you have to find a way to be happy with what you do. That is why vocation matters. A quote from Jerry Gillies. You will recognize your own path when you come upon it, because you will suddenly have all the energy and imagination you will ever need. Why purpose matters. Okay, you say, vocation matters. But what about purpose? Purpose matters as well. In fact, having a strong sense of purpose in your life may be the one key factor that determines whether or not you are truly happy. You can be successful in life without a clear purpose. But does this mean you will be happy or even content? No. There are plenty of successful individuals in the world who aren't content with life because they haven't yet found their true purpose, their calling in life. Let's face it, not doing what you're supposed to do, not fulfilling your purpose in life, and not being who you're supposed to be is no way to live. It feels empty and will never give you a sense of satisfaction or happiness. A quote from Leo C. Roston. I think the purpose of life is to be useful, to be responsible, to be honorable, to be compassionate. It is, after all, to matter, to count, to stand for something, to have made some difference that you lived at all. So what does a purpose, a calling in life, look like? And how does it benefit you? Motivation. A purpose, first and foremost, is powerfully motivating. When you know your purpose, your calling, you're driven to succeed and pursue it, whatever it may be. This will impact other areas of your life as well. Passion. A purpose gives you passion about a particular topic or subject. You become so captivated with what you're doing that life is filled with exuberance and joy. What you do in pursuit of your purpose may be dreary and disappointing at times, but the passion is always there. Direction. Having a purpose gives you a strong sense of direction. In this day and age, direction is always a good thing. As humans, we are forward-looking creatures. We want to know what's coming up ahead. Having a clear direction allows you to accomplish truly great things once you know your purpose. A quote from Betty Sue Flowers. When you see what you're here for, the world begins to mirror your purpose in a magical way. It's almost as if you suddenly find yourself on a stage in a play that was written expressly for you. Finding your true purpose. Ask yourself these 3 simple questions. 1. What is it that you're truly passionate about? What energizes you and gets you excited as you start each day? 2. What are your primary strengths, skills, and talents? What do you excel at? This could pertain to a hobby that you've never really considered pursuing as a career. It could also be related to a skill you've mastered. 3. What would drive your economic engine? What can you do to make a living from this hobby? Now, review these answers and look for the common thread that flows through them. The area where your answers overlap is your hedgehog. Remember the story at the beginning of this module? That's where you shine, where you do best. It's something you do extremely well that stirs your passion and can support you financially. Mind you, this small exercise may not give you all the answers, but it can definitely help you to start thinking and move you toward finding your true purpose and calling in life. From Helen Keller. True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. Exercises. Now that you've determined your purpose and figured out what you'd really like to be doing with your life, here's an action plan for implementing the necessary changes to make it happen. 1. Evaluate your life's roadmap. On a piece of paper, make an outline of where you would like to go with your life. Brainstorm about your life's purpose. Start with your hedgehog. Be creative and don't limit your thoughts. Think of the impossible. Believe it, and you can achieve it. 2. Ask yourself more questions. What are you naturally interested in? What activities motivate and energize you? What do you want to accomplish in life? What would you do if you knew that failure was not an option? What would you do if money was not a limitation? Do you believe that people have power and influence over the results they get in their lives? 3. Evaluate your job. Identify and acknowledge the problems with your current job. Next, begin to visualize your dream job, one that would make you truly happy and make the best use of your skills and personal resources. Ask yourself what you like about your job now. What would you need to do to leapfrog from your current job profile to your dream profile? 4. Track your progress. Keep a record or journal of your discovery of your purpose. Review your journal periodically. From Stedman Graham. People who consider themselves victims of their circumstances will always remain victims unless they develop a greater vision for their lives. You can do it. Hopefully you now see how extremely important vocation and purpose are to your life. Remember, always try to examine yourself objectively and evaluate your life. Who are you? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Step away every now and then and look at where you're going. We're all unique, and we all have a unique purpose and calling. Find yours. The rest will begin to happen on its own. A quote from Oprah Winfrey. I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint, and that the best way to succeed is to discover what you love and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of service, working hard, and also allowing the energy of the universe to lead you.